to improve your impact position or to improve your ball striking, there's a couple of things that you really need to do. The one thing is you need to move towards your lead side. So progressively moving towards your lead side helps you hit, should we say, through the ball. You need to make sure that your hands are getting to the back of the golf ball, ahead of the club head. So like so. We don't want the hands behind the club head. And you need rotation. So also encouraging enough sort of rotation or motion is important, because you can only really get your hands moving forward if you're matching it up with enough rotation. So those are sort of three things that you're trying to navigate when it comes to introducing more shaft lean to lend itself to better ball striking. And I tend to find that, you know, students of mine respond differently to different types of drills and exercises. Some people respond really well to the feeling of sort of looking up for it before they've hit it. Some people like working on things like hip depth, you know, because equally getting this lead hip back also sort of triggers a nice amount of rotation and gives you space to swing the hands through. But, you know, what also happens really well as a nice drill is when I sort of question the ball position a little bit for a golfer. So if I sort of said to a golfer, right, you're accustomed to positioning the ball in the pretty much the centre of the stance, which is absolutely fine, there's nothing wrong with that. If I have the ball in the centre of my stance and I return my shoulders quite square, you're going to probably hit that golf ball pretty well, something like so. You know, but if you're somebody who hits it a little bit more like this, and we're going to try and get you to hit it more this way, then one of the ways that is easy to encourage is to move the ball position further forward. So if I get somebody to move the ball further forward, then they're going to try and hit some shots from this type of position. I think that's a really simple drill. What's also quite cool is to start with the club head behind the, you know, not directly behind the ball. So if you have the club head still in the centre of your stance, and then you treat that as a drill, again, that's going to really encourage you to find a way to get those hands moving further forward. So the next time you head to the range, what I'd suggest is, rather than just hitting golf balls and just sort of beating in the same habits that you've always got, just sort of start by doing that. So you make some practice swings, and one way to do is just hit the ground opposite your left ankle, okay? But when you do it, don't cheat and move your head. You want to keep your head still and make sure it's really that it's your hands that are going further forward. And if you're struggling with that, then just practice a little bit of chest rotation first as well. Because what you'll find is if I rotate my chest, my left shoulder goes out the way, that gives me the capability to get the hands forward. Now, you're not obviously going to hit, you know, a steep, well, you're not looking for a steep anyway, but you're just going to get a nice shallow brush. Probably, I would say opposite your lead ankle would be a good place. And if you can do that, and you can kind of get that feeling, what you'll start to notice is you'll drop your shoulders down, it'll keep you much lower to the ground, and then you can try and hit a shot where, like I say, you put the ball opposite the left ankle, which is the low point to where you've just been practicing, but keep the club head in the centre of your stance so you can kind of have your normal setup position, and then when you hit it, it'll just kind of encourage you to find that sort of different impact. And those are the things you have to do. You know, if you're fundamentally trying to hit the golf ball in a completely different way, then again, I tend to find that a lot of students that come through this door for golf lessons tend to respond really well to doing these types of exercises, because you kind of subconsciously have to find a way to hit the golf ball, and you know, you naturally get those hands moving a little bit further forward, and it can make a massive difference towards your game. So give it a go. I'll see you guys again really soon.